As an everlasting law. He said it again. And it's a law again here, a law. You see? And then the first of the 14th day, you see the 2nd April, BPA, March/April, of the month, is the evening you shall eat unleavened bread. You see? So on the 14th day, so on the first day in the 14th day of the month is the evening. In the evening you shall eat, so at sundown, you shall eat unleavened bread. We're almost at verse 20. So until the 21st day of the month in the evening. You see? So till 20 day. So really just 6 days. Because on the 7th day is a gathering and stuff, and it's the last day. Because the 14th day plus 7 or 6 or 7, I mean 40 plus 7 is 21. You see, on the 21st day, you see the 14th day and plus 7 days again. You know, on the 7th day is the last day, the gathering together, and they eat unleavened bread. So he said, until the 21st day of the month in the evening, for 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses, for it is anyone eats that what is leavened, the same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Yahshua, whether sojourner or native of the land. You see, he said it again here. You see, you will be cut off from Yahshua. So you must do this stuff, you know. And then the last verse, do not eat that which is leavened. In all your dwellings you are to eat unleavened bread. You see? Okay. Now we have Shemot, chapter 12. So we have Shemot, chapter 12, verse 1 till 20. We write it down. It's Exodus, chapter 12, verse 1 till 20. What is this talking about? It was talking about that we must do on the 14th day or on the 10th day as well, the 10th and the 14th day. So the 10th day was a lamp, you know, we already have learned the stuff. There was a lamp, but on the 14th day was Pesha. Pesha. Okay. So you see now, just now on the 14th day, this is really 2nd April. 2nd April. Is Pesha. See? And we have read all the things for what we must do. Must unleavened bread. Must be on the 10th day for 7 days. Or for 4 days, I mean. For 4 days you eat unleavened bread, all the stuff. We have read it, all the stuff. You see now? So that is really how does it look like. Take a screenshot or whatever. And we go further to the next one. If I go further, as I said in the video, what was happened in the first month. Now as you can see, it was a lot of things was happening in the first month, you already know, and we was already there in the 14th day. But we must focus what was done in the first days, you know. And in the first days was that was mentioned for us in the beginning of months, you know. It is for us the first month, you know. That's what we have learned, and that's for us that's the first month of the year for you, you know. And then we have read and that all the stuff that about 14 days and everything. So what we need to do then, we not directly jumping on the 14th day. All the stuff we must do was really was standing there in the beginning. You see? So we're gonna open up Exodus chapter 13, verse 4. Exodus chapter 13, verse 4. Today you are going out in the month Abib. You see? So there you have it. So you already know that the month is Abib, and Abib is March/April. So we really do that stuff, all the stuff what you are reading in Exodus chapter 12, verse 1 to 20, what we must do in this whole month there. You know? So in the first month, we know that it's Abibia. So in Abibia, what was all done with what we have reading in Exodus chapter 12, verse 1 to 20. That we must have a perfect lamb, blood on the doorpost, and that we must do unleavened bread, and that as well that there is Pesach, you know? And that was really just 14 days, only in 1 month, you know? That was done some feast stuff, you know? So that's what we have learned, you know? So now we're gonna do what was done on the 14th day, and which stuff it's all mentioned, you know? Now you have all know this stuff, we have a screenshot it or whatever. I'm gonna wipe this all away, and I'm gonna write it down according to how it is standing in the scripture, so that it gives you more understanding what is standing here. So the first month is Abibia. Let's call it March, April. Okay, Abibia, March, April. And what you must read there, or better said, the first Abibia, when it was started, on 19 April at hold on, 19 April at sundown. We have learned with the 1 day, when the day is starting is a sundown, you know? So at sundown. So when the sun is down on 19 April, what is then the next day? So it really starts between 19 and 20, you know? So I must write down 20. Okay, let me wipe that out a little bit and write it good. I'll write it now better. So the first month, Abibia, is called March, April. But it starts in March 19 to 20 at sundown. Because you already know when you will start from 19 in March and you end up in 19 April, then it's 30 or 31 days. Then it's 1 month. Because it falls in between March and April. There's Abibia, you know, spring. So it's 19 and 20 at sundown in March. Then what started there in that month, what we have reading? Exodus chapter 12 verse 1 till 20. So we write it down. Acts 20 verse 1 till 20. That's what you need to read then on that day, and do also what is standing there. And what you must also read there, to have the understanding when this month is started, is Exodus 13 and 4. So I make a mistake. It is not 20, it is 12. Sorry. Sorry. Salaki. Okay, the first month is Abibia, and that's called March/April. And it starts the first month at 19 between 20 and start 19 at sundown, and then it's this 20 March. And then you must read Exodus chapter 12 verse 1 to 20, as we have read it together. And then I must go to the next chapter and I'll read it again, that this month is really March, April, because we going out the month of Abibia. That's what he just say, you see? So this is what you need to read, and this is what you need to read on this month from. Write it down, and you see the scripture. Did you write it down? Okay. I'm gonna underline this stuff. So that is what you must do on this day. When the sun is down. So when the sun is down, you know, at 19, when the sun is down, then it's come at 20. And then on 20 March, you're gonna read this stuff. Or really at sundown on 19. You're gonna read this whole stuff and do this stuff, but it's really standing here. I don't have to say too much time what we have to do there, but you know what you must do on that on 19 March. What you need to read: Exodus chapter 12 verse 1 to 20, and then Exodus chapter 13 verse 4. It's talking about the perfect lamb, everything, and all the stuff, and the blood on your doorpost, and etc., and unleavened bread, everything. Okay. Then we're gonna write down the 14th day, because the 14th day is also mentioned in this stuff. In March, April, you know, the 14th day, and it falls then in April, the 2nd April. We're gonna write it down. We're gonna write down 14th day. 14th day. And at the 14th day of Abib. Yeah. You see? The 14th day of Abibia. What we must do there on the 14th day of Abibia? Did you remember what you must do there? Yes. We must, that was the Pesha to Jehovah. So on the 14th day of Abibia is Pesha. Pesha. How we call it in a modern word, Passover. So, the 14th day of Abibia is Pesha, Passover. Did you write it down? Okay, and what we must read there? We have already reading that stuff, what is standing there. That is Exodus. You know, the whole thing. Well, not everything. So what we're gonna read? We're gonna read now, right now, and then I'm gonna write it down. Before I'm gonna write it down, read that stuff, what I said, for what is done on the 14th day, we must also write it down for what was done on the 14th day. When is the 14th day coming? On the 2nd April. 2nd April at sundown. You see? So the 2nd April is at sundown, and what we're gonna read? I'm gonna show you what we're gonna read. We're gonna read Exodus chapter 12, verse 5 till 6. 5. Let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep or from the goats. And you shall keep it unto the 14th day of the same month. Then all the assembly of the congregation of Yasharal shall kill it between the evenings. You see now? That is what is talking about, the 14th day. You've now see it here. Read it again. 5. Let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day. 14th day of Abibia, Pesha, Abibia, Pesha, Passover. That's what I'm talking about. On 2nd April at sundown. You see, on the 14th day. The 14th day was mentioned in chapter 12, what we're reading right here now. Chapter 12. You know, this whole thing till 20 we have read it, you know. And now it is really from 5. Let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male, and take it from the sheep or from the goats. And you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. You see, the same month. The month of Abibia. You see? So then all the assembly of the congregation of Yasharal shall kill it between the evenings. You see? There's again the evening. So then, you know, just at sundown. You see? Between the evenings. So there you have it. So we write this down. Shemot chapter 12 verse 5 to 6. We write it down. Acts chapter 12 verse 5 till 6. It's a lamp offering, you know. But yeah, we don't have explanation already what it was, so I don't have to write it down. Just only write down the verses, what you need to do, particularly on this day. You see, the 14th day of Abibia, who is Pesha, Passover, on the 2nd April at sundown. So you must read then, Exodus chapter 12 verse 5 to 6 is talking about the 14th day. You know? Okay. Then we're gonna read further. Then we're gonna open up Leviticus, Eureka, chapter 23, verse 5. In the first month, on the 14th day, again, on the month between the evenings, you see, at sundown, is the Pesha to Yahuwah. You see? So, also, it is mentioned here again. So write this verse also down. Leviticus chapter 23 verse 5. You see? You have it all down. This is what you must done on the 14th day at 2nd April at sundown. Because it is Passover. Yes? You have write it down? We're gonna read further. We're gonna open up Matthew Mattiyahu, chapter 26. Chapter 26. See 26. Verse 17. And on the first of Matzot, the Talmudim came to Yahusha, saying to him, "Where do you want us to prepare for you to eat Pesha?" You see? Like I said, this is the Brit Hadash, the New Testament or the New Covenant, talking about the same thing, about the Pesha. They keep in the Pesha all day, every day with the Talmudims. Yes, all day, every day. You see? So, you write down now Mattiyahu chapter 26, verse 17. And also, here, verse 29. But I say to you, I shall continually not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on, till the day when I drink it anew with you in the reign of my Father. You see? So write those two verses down. Matthew chapter 26 verse 17, and also Matthew 26 verse 29. You seen it? Did you write it down? Then we go to another one for this 14th day. Yehukanan on John chapter 19 verse 14. Hold up. Verse 14. Yehukanan chapter 19 verse 14. Here. And it was in preparation of the Pesach, and about the 6th hour, and he said to the Yahudim, see your sovereign. You see? So write this also down. Yehukanan chapter 19 verse 14. Write it down. John chapter 19 verse 14. You have to write it down? Okay. Now we have really the half of the month of feast. About matzah and Pesach. Passover, the unleavened bread, everything. You see? Okay, so we have the first month. And what we was reading in the first month, what is all happening in that whole first month. And then he's mentioned in that first month, on the 14th day, you must do a Pesach to Yahuwah. And that falls on 2nd April, and then you must read this, and then you must read this, and then you must read this, and this, and this. It's according to this 14th day. You know, and the first month is according to this and this. You know, and what is happening in this whole thing. You see? Now, underline this. This is finished. The first month and the 14th day in the first month is finished. We go further. Okay, we go back to the Matthew 26. Verse 17 we know already that is matzah. And 26 as well. Verse 26 till 29 is not talking about his. 29 is talking about the wine he was drinking, not more. Only when he was going down with Yehusha in the Shamahim, and then they're gonna drink wine with us again. So from that moment he not drink it anymore. But before that stuff I didn't talk about the stuff. But also write as well 26 down. So what was standing there, we're gonna read. 26. And as they were eating, Yehusha took the bread, and having broke and gave it to the Talmudim, and said, take, eat, this is my body. And taking the cup, and giving thanks, and he gave it to them, saying, drink from it all of you, as for this is my blood, that of the renewed covenant, which is shed for many for the forgiveness of crimes of sins. But I say to you, I shall continually not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on till the day when I drink it anew with you in the reign of my Father. You see, that's the completed one. So as you could see here, It is Matthew 26 verse 17 and Matthew 26 verse 26 to 29. Write it all down, this for the 14th day. Okay, we go further. So, now we have the first month and the 14th day. Well, what comes after the 14th day? The 15th day. So what has happened in the 15th day? So let's read. In Shemot, Exodus chapter 13 verse 6 till 7. You can read there. 7 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day is a festival to Yehovah. Unleavened bread is to be eaten the 7th day, is eaten the 7 days, and whatever is leavened is not to be seen with you, and leaven is not to be seen with you within all your butter. You see? So that is what we must write down for the 15th day. But before we can write it down, we can read one more chapter as well, and then I can write them all down. We go to Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23 verse 6 to 8. It reminds you about this stuff, why we must do the stuff what we have read in Shemot chapter 30 verse 6 to 7. So Leviticus 23 verse 6 to 8. It said, on the 15th day, you see now, on the 15th day of this month is the festival of Matzot to Yehovah. 7 days you eat unleavened bread. On the first day you have a Kodesh gathering. You do no several work. You see? And as well, and you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yehovah for 7 days. On the 7th day is a Kodesh gathering. You do no several work. You see? So now you know it is the 15th day. And it was talking about in Shemot chapter 13 verse 6 to 7. Chapter 13 verse 6 to 7. Shemot chapter 13 verse 6 to 7. 7 days you eat unleavened bread, you see? And on the 7th day is a festival to Yehovah. An unleavened bread is to be eaten the 7 days, and whatever is leavened is not to be seen with you. Unleavened is not to be seen with you within all your butter. You see now? So we must write down this stuff on the board. I can write it down. The 15th day. The 15th day till the 21st day. You know why? Because he said you can't eat that till the 21st day, because on the 21st day he says something else. You remember in the other verses there from in Exodus chapter 12 verse 1 to 20, he's talking about that stuff there, for what you must do on the 21st day. You see? So on the 21st day the 21st day of Abib Yahu is a feast of matzah. It's a feast of matzah. The 15th day till the 21st day is Abipia, is a feast of matzah. Slash, so call it unleavened bread. Unleavened bread. Okay. Because on the 2nd April at sundown, you remember? 2nd April at sundown it started this whole stuff, you know? And when the 2nd April sundown is a new day already, then it's the 3rd April, you see? So the stars, and then you do that for 7 days, and then you could become a 21 day, you know? So you really write it down there at or no, yes, it is at sundown, but then you write down the date. Then you write down the 2nd of the 3rd April. April till 9th April at sundown. You see, 15th day of the 21st day of Abipia is the feast of matzah slash unleavened bread. It starts on the 3rd April till the 9th April, because the 15th day is the 3rd, you see, but on the 14th day was the 2nd, you see, it's the 2nd day, and the 15th day is the 3rd day, you know, at sundown, you know, is matzah, unleavened bread, you see, till the 9th April, because the 9th April is the 21st day, you see. Okay, what we have read already, so we write it down, Shemot or Exodus chapter 30 verse 6 to 7. X 13 verse 6 till 7. And Leviticus 23 verse 6 to 8. You see? Take a screenshot. Write it down. There you have it. So we have now literally what the whole Exodus chapter 1 to Exodus chapter 12 verse 1 to 20 just said. The whole thing is standing right now on the board. You see? 14 day and 21 day, you know, and the first month, everything. Yes? Okay. Now we're going to do the next. Now we're gonna read for another day, that because after 2 days later is another feast, you know, that falls on 10 April, you know, just really just but it starts at the sundown by 10 April, and that's the feast of first fruits. But we're gonna read in chapter 23, Leviticus chapter 23 verse 9 to 14. We're gonna read. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Yashrael, and you shall say to them, when you come into the land which I gave you, and shall reap this harvest, then you shall bring the sheaf to the first fruits of your harvest to Kohen. You see? And he shall wave the sheaf before Yahuwah for your acceptance on the morrow after the Sabbath of the Kohen waves it. You see? And on that day, when you wave the receipt, you shall prepare a male lamb a year old. You see? He's really just saying when you wave, there's a wave offering. It's just like you bow down to your knees and wave with Yahuwah inside of you, and praise Yahuwah and everything what you have to him. And as well, you prepare a male lamb, you know? You prepare Yahushua HaMashiach, a year old. The perfect lamb is talking about here again. Year old, a perfect one. As a burnt offering, you see? So the Ruach HaKodesh of fire, the mercy in the Ruach HaKodesh of fire. To Yahuwah. So you give Yahushua to Yahuwah. And really give him to himself. And it is a grain offering to 2/10 of an ephah of the fine flour mixed with oil, and an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. You see? Because Yahushua, we eat him and offer him everything to Yahuwah. As a sweet fragrance, and a drink offering, 1/4 of an hin of wine. And you do not eat bread or roasted grain or fresh grain until the same day that you have brought an offering to your Aluah, a law forever, throughout your generation in all your dwellings. You see? So once you put Yahushua, you know, as an offering to him, then you're good. If you don't do that stuff, you'll not be good, you know? So that's what he really just say. So you see now that this is after the Sabbath, and that is really after the 9th day, and it's the 10th day. So the 10th day, you know? But we're gonna read further. We're gonna open up another book, Mattiyahu, chapter 28, verse 1. Mattiyahu 28, verse 1. Now after the Sabbath, towards dawn, one of the Tzebaot, Miriam from Magdalena, and the other Miriam came to see the tomb. You see? They're gonna look for Yahushua there. Okay, and then we're gonna read another verse, another chapter, and that is Yehukanan, chapter 20, verse 1. Yehukanan, chapter 20, verse 1. And on one of the Sabbath, Miriam from Magdalena came to the tomb in the morning, when it was still dim, and saw that the stone had been removed from the tomb. You see? So it is in the morning again then. And what we have learned, it was the 9th day, and then when the sun is down is the next day, then it's the 10th day. So that is in the morning there, when they was coming to Yahushua. So you know it's in the morning, and it's there, you see? So you know then it's the 10th day. So it is 10th April there, you know? So we're gonna read again, one chapter again. Leviticus 23, verse 14. Leviticus 23, verse 14. And you do not eat bread or roasted grain or fresh grain until the same day that you have brought an offering to your Aluah, a law forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. You see? So there you have it. So that's the first fruit. You know what the first fruit is? Yahushua. Yahushua was rose from the dead after 3 days, and that is why from the 21 day, and then 2 days later, he was standing up. But it's really 3 days, because from sundown to sundown, you already know it is in the morning. They was coming to him. You see? So we're gonna write it down on the board to have more understanding. You could see I don't have that much space anymore. but I must write it down. So I'm gonna write it down more better. Hold up. I've written it down now. You already know. So the 23 day of Abib, yeah, is the feast of the first fruits. It starts at sundown at 10 April. So what you must read: Leviticus 23 verse 1, Mattiyahu chapter 28 verse 1, Yehukanam chapter 20 verse 1, and Leviticus 23 verse 14. That's what you must read. So we have now really the first day, the 14th day, the 15th day till 21 day, and the 23 day. You know, because why 23 and the 21st? What was between in that stuff? There was in the morning there was a Miriam to walk into Yehusha the tomb and stuff. You know, that was on 22 day, and also it was almost 23 day. You know, so in between, because it is 9 April at sundown is on 9 April at sundown. But then it's the next day. Then it's the 10th. You know, 10th day. But at 10th day at sundown is again 11th day already, and then it's the 23. You see, that is why. Okay, so now we have really day 1 till 12. We really have 23 days now in 1 month now. You see? Now I'm gonna write only one verse down, screenshot this as well. I make photos as well and there's videos, you already know. And I'm gonna wipe this all away, and I can write down the last ones, what it was done on the Abibia. And then I think it is done for now. Then I'm gonna make a part 3 video, you already know. So because yeah, it's more parts because it is, yeah, you see, a lot of explanation, but it is easy. But I must break it all down step by step. And that is why it takes so long and everything. If I only write it down like this, then you don't have that understanding, you see. But now we have going to all this stuff, we have read it, all this stuff, explanation and stuff, and now you have understand it. But it's writing it down here. So take a good screenshot of the stuff, and yeah, and I can write down the last ones, what is done in Abibia /April or /March April. So open up Leviticus 23, verse 15 to 16. Let's read it again there. 15 to 16. And from the tomorrow after the Sabbath, Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, you shall count. You see, now you must count for yourself. Must count for yourself 7 completed Sabbath. Until the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, you count 50 days. Then you shall bring a new grain offering to Yahuwah. You see? So that's what they also gonna write down on the board and everything. But also another verse we must read. Oh no, hold on, let's read it again. And from the morrow after the Sabbath, you see the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, you shall count for yourself 7 completed Sabbaths. Until the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, you count 50 days, then you shall bring a new grain offering to Yahuwah. It's a Sabbath, standing here, the Sabbath, and then it said for yourself 7 completed Sabbaths. So 7 completed Sabbaths. Sabbaths means the high Sabbats, you know, that we 7 Sabbats in a whole year, you know, 7 high Sabbats in a year, you know. So this is done, really how it's called. The day of Abibia is the first Sabbath of the Feast of Weeks / Shabbats. So this is the Feast of Sabbats, you know, Sabbath. So that's what we can write down on the board. So I can write it down. So we have read it, and now you know from okay, when does the day started? Because we have 23 day, and when you count 6 days further, what you have on the 23, 29. And then it's on the 29th day you're gonna read this stuff, you know, at sundown of course, and then it's the 7th day, then you have, you know, but you see, because when it is 28th sundown, then it is 29th day, you know, you see. So yeah, okay, I can write it down, and then you know, write it down, take a screenshot. It's the 29th day of Abipiahu. Is the first Shabbat of the Feast of Weeks / Shabbats. It starts at April the 16th at sundown. And then you must read, as we have read it already, Leviticus 23 verse 15 till 16. You already know. So, as you could know, the feast of the last feast was on 10 April, and then you go 6 days further, you know, and then we have 16 April, and that's why it said 16 April, and that's called the 29th day of Abipia. So this is really the last day of Abipia, the last feast of Abipia, you know, the feast of weeks, so / Sabbath, you know, and you do this for how long you do this stuff? Till 19 April you do this stuff, till 19, you know. So let me write this also down. Hold up. Again, take a screenshot. So the 29th day of Abipia is the first Sabbath of the Feast of Weeks / Shabbats. Starts at 16 April at sundown. So that stuff you do that for literally for 3 days. You know, 3 days. Of course, it goes further than 3 days, but after 3 days it starts a new month, because you cannot put 29 plus 3, you know, it comes with 32. We don't have 32 in a month, so we go to count then in the next month, you see. So then we have the second month, and that's called Saniyahu, and it's at sundown April the 19th, you see. So when it's 19 April, between the evenings and evening, or the sundown the 20th, then we have the new month, you know, and at that new month, yeah, then it's starting the new month, you know. Then you must blow your shofar with the Psalms 81, you already know, that kind of stuff. But we go further than in part 3 about this stuff. But now we have the first month, you know. See, the first month we have now completed. Much love, everybody. And yeah, I hope it was a great lesson. This was a part 2 video from the part 1, you know, or the second video. So the third video is coming soon, you already know. So we have now learned what is done in Abipia, the whole month, what we must read, what we must do, everything. Yes, we put Yahusha and everything, toch, the whole scripture. So yes, there you have it. Okay, I hope that this will be clear. If not, ask me the questions. I have it wrote it all down, you know, write it already all down in a PDF. So yes, I have the PDF there already. And according to, let me show you. According to this watch. So every time when I sell a watch, you know, like this, you know, then I give the PDF about the feast days, and they can count the feast days really about this stuff. All those names what you see there is Saniya, Abipia, everything is standing there, you know. And then in the middle you see that the Alf and the Tal and the trumpet, and there you see all those lines, and there's also numbers there. And then all those numbers you can slide down to the stripes where it is standing there, all the stuff to count your days and everything, you already know. So yes, so yeah. It's available in Yahusto.com, you already know. And yeah, man. And this comes along with the PDF and all the stuff, and how you must use this watch as well, everything, you already know. So that's why I make this video, and that to make it more clear for all everybody that it is not man-made. That is, we have all reading it. It was all in the scripture. And as you see, if you write it all down and you give it to somebody, and everybody says, huh? It's doctrine, it's man-made. Yes. In the first look, but once you look into the scripture and you can look to those verses and write it for yourself down, then you have a whole strategy made by Yahuwah Yahushua Mashiach for you there already. So it is not man-made. It is really appointed times for Yehovah Yahushua Mashiach. So, but I said already in first video, study yourself approved, do it by yourself, don't take it from me, but only just look if I'm speaking truth. That Yahushua Mashiach is speaking here, not me, because I'm not Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5, you know. I'm not Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, you know. It is really, see if it is really like this self. So ask Ruach HaKodesh, ask Yehovah Yahushua to reveal it to you as well. So that all the stuff that is written down, that is not made by anybody, but by the scripture itself. So do it for yourself. It's only motivational videos what I made here for y'all. And of course you can do the same thing what I just did, write it all down. But always ask the Ruach HaKodesh. I'm no teacher here, man. You already know, I just only show what is revealed to me and that's it. But at least I know it is scripture. So I can say confident. I love you all. Much love. Shalom, shalom. Yehovah Yahushua in the flesh. All day, every day.